Thank you. Right, so today I'm bringing to you an exposition on how to find your life partner. This will be, thank you so much everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wonderful. I can see Mr. Taderira there making it clear. You can hear me loud and clear. Wonderful. So let me begin work. Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel. You can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much, Mem Elena. You can hear me clearly. Thank you so much, Pogpa. Yes, hey, Pogpa, I remember you. I promised to speak to you. I'll make sure I fulfill that promise. Thank you so much. Right. So today I'm bringing to you an exposition on how to find your life partner. This is a very important exposition, not only for those that have not yet discovered their life partners, even for those that have discovered their life partners. This is a very important exposition. Thank you so much, Mem Irene. You can hear me clearly. Thank you. Right. So I'm not going to waste much time at all. Let us go straight to the point. So break with me your Bible straight to the book of Revelations chapter 2 verse 4. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Open your Bibles to the book of Revelations chapter 2 verse 4. Revelations chapter 2 verse 4. Okay. So that we don't waste time, let me read it for you. What Revelations chapter 2 verse 4 says. Thank you so much. We can hear. Thank you so much, Gloria Sello. That's right, Gloria Sello. That's my cousin sister from Lesotho watching there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, I was born in Lesotho. I wasn't born in Zimbabwe. Right. So let us open our Bibles. Yes, Revelations chapter 2 verse 4. So Revelations chapter 2 verse 4, it says, "Nevertheless, I have this against you, that you have left your first love." I'll read for the last time. Revelations chapter 2 verse 4. This is what it says. "Nevertheless, I have this against you, that you have left your first love." Thank you. You can close your Bibles. Let me begin working time. Thank you. Right. Make sure you invite somebody. Let somebody tune in. Thank you so much, Prophet Blessing, for tuning in. Make sure you invite somebody for this exposition. It will be very short and precise. I'll be going straight to the point. I won't waste any time at all. Thank you. Right. One of the things that you must understand is that you can kill a bear with an arrow, but you cannot carry a bear with an arrow. You have to find other mechanisms to carry it. It is the same thing about this issue of finding a life partner. It is not all about you finding the right partner, but it is mostly about what are you going to do when you eventually find the right partner. Are you going to be able to be loyal to them? Because Hebrews 13 verse 4, Jesus Christ made it very clear through his servant Paul that marriage should be held in loyalty amongst all things. Now the issue that has gotten a lot of people having a lot of misunderstanding in these issues in relation to finding right partners in life is that people don't understand that when the truth is coated with lies, the lies will end up seeming to be true. A lot of people that you have read of, a lot of people that you have found out that have written books on this topic, what you must understand about authors that write books is that most of the times, authors that write books, the information that they write, they never even practice it. And the information that they write, most of them never even worked for them in their own personal lives. The only book that was written by people that practiced what they wrote, the only book on earth that was written by people that the things that they wrote, they practiced them, they experienced them in their lives, it is the Holy Bible. So when you want to look at real life matters, like matters of finding the right life partner for you, it is always important to remember that you have to go back to a book without errors. You have to go back to a book without deception, which is the Holy Bible, to search for answers. And in this today's podcast, I'm simply bringing you back to that book, which is the Holy Bible, and draw answers from that book for you in relation to this topic so that you understand. That's why when you look at it from 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, Paul made it very clear that study to show yourself approved. He revealed the importance of study. When you look at it from 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 13, it makes it very clear. Until I come to you, give attendance to reading the word. He made it very clear the importance of reading the word. When you look at it from 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16, he made it very clear that all scripture is given by an inspiration from God. So the only book under the sun that does not have deception, the only book under the sun that was written by people that practiced what they wrote and that saw what they wrote working for them in their own personal lives, it is the Holy Bible, which is what I'm bringing you back to. But if you don't understand this, you begin to adopt to a lot of theories pertaining this matter of finding the right partner. And I'll tell you, when you look at the thing that has destroyed the financial sector on earth today, it is a book by an author that was called Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill wrote a book that is called How to Think and Grow Rich. That is the biggest selling book on earth right now when it comes to financial books. Every person that is serious about making money, or every person that aspires to make money, has either read that book or has heard of that book. But what a lot of people didn't understand about Napoleon Hill is that even though he wrote those principles in that book, there is none of those principles that he wrote that worked for him, and he didn't even experience those principles in his own life. He mentioned in the book that he met Oliver Carnegie, which happened to be the richest man on earth in his time. And it was later on revealed that he never met Robert Carnegie. So which means he lied about that principle. But a lot of people believe in that principle because they say if this guy met the richest man on earth and he said some of these things, it was that man who told him. So it means this man is telling the truth. He lied in that book that he had a college of marketing and finance. Later on to be revealed that he was a fraudster. He never owned a college of marketing and finance. But when people read that book today, they hear him talking that, no, these principles, I actually taught them at my own college. They believe he had a college and they believe those principles. He lied in that book that he was an attorney. And he said some of the principles that I'm using today, I used them in my cases and I own. It was later on revealed he was not an attorney. But people that read today, they hear that he was an attorney and they hear that he won those some cases with those principles. And they think this person, if he won principles with these things, which means they are true, and people follow those things. But people end up discovering, why is it that we are following all these principles but nothing is changing in our lives? We are remaining poor. What they don't realize is that when truth is coated with lies, the lies will end up seeming to be true. What people do, these gurus of finances that you find that write different books, they've mastered the art of coating the truth with lies, so that when you look at it and discover a lot of a little truth in what they are saying, you end up believing that every information that they are giving you is truth. Because the problem in life is that the information that you don't know will force you to believe someone who claims to know that information. Anything on earth that you don't know, if somebody comes to you and says they know it, it is very difficult for you to argue with them. That's why you cannot argue with the doctor. When you enter the office of the doctor, you have to do whatever they say because they know, they claim they have that information. It's the same thing with all these people that write books. It is not wrong to write, to read different books, but I'm saying the most important book that you must refer yourself to when it comes to important matters of your life, such as choosing the right partner, when you need answers on what to do, you have to come back to the Bible. This is the only book that does not have any atom of lies or deception. It is truth in its totality. This is the first thing you must understand. Right. Now, the problem that we are experiencing here on earth is that when it comes to the issue of locating the right partner in life, you must realize that you need to be careful, because there is what is called deception. In 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 1, it makes it very clear that get rid of all deception. The reason why it is difficult to locate a right partner in life, it is the problem of the demon of deception. People deceive. And today I will help you how to overcome those demons and how to ultimately find the right partner. That's why I'm sharing with you all these things. I don't want to take time, but I'm just building you since you are coming from different backgrounds. You see, any man that comes to you in a deceptive manner, if you don't know how to locate them or discern them, they can destroy your life. And it is very easy when it comes to issues of relationships to locate a deceptive person. If you discover a woman who speaks a lot about her beauty, she's a deceptive woman. If you discover a man that speaks a lot about success to you as you are dating them, that man carry the capacity of being a deceptive man. Because genuine people in life don't speak good of themselves. People speak good of them. Which means a good woman doesn't have to speak good of herself. Her character, her behavior should cause you yourself who's watching it to speak good. A good man doesn't need to speak good of himself. His character and behavior, you watching it, should cause you to speak good of him. There's a guy that was called Anthony Signac, who scorned a very rich man in the United States of America of about $400 million. This man deceived this rich real estate business mogul in the United States of America that he was a Saudi Arabian prince. So he knew that for me to deceive this person, I have to work on my image so that it will be easy for me to deceive them. So he began to corner different people, began to rob and steal money. And he took that money and he went into the United States of America, began to hire cars, rented a very prestigious hotel, bought very nice clothes. So he would go to meetings with this guy in a Rolls Royce that he had hired. And he would even invite this guy to the hotel that he was staying for some meeting. And the guy arrived and saw this is an expensive hotel in Beverly Hills. You pay over $15,000 per night. So whatever this youngster began to say, this guy didn't even bother to research, because to himself he thought, no. This guy is genuinely a Saudi Arabian prince. So he was now told that there's an investment that is he should do in the oil business. And if he put about $400 million in that investment, he can be given shares. And those shares can amount to about 60 billion. He said, my God, thank you, Saudi Arabian prince, for giving me this opportunity. He wired that money. It was 2 weeks later that he discovered that this guy was not even a prince. A prince, he was a con man. But he had eventually gotten away with that because he managed to deceive this real estate mogul. So a lot of people are heartbroken today because of men that deceived them. A lot of men are heartbroken today because of women that deceived them. So deception is something that you should not continuously come across if you want to eventually find the right partner in your life. Because all those years and months you waste being deceived by useless people, those months could have added to your ability to find the right partner for you. So in life, as you are living like this, the most important thing that I want to pray for you before I reveal this secret to you is that God can secure you from being deceived. Now, if you overcome that problem of deception, before I reveal to you how to locate your life partner, I want to explain this entire topic of partners. Because if you don't understand this entire topic in a deeper dimension, you stand a chance to fail to locate the right partner. So I want you to understand me clearly in just 10 to 15 minutes as I explain this mystery to you before I reveal the secret. Then we call it a day. Thank you. You see, if you have $100 bill of money, it is not money. That's why a lot of people here on earth are poor, because they think that if they have got $100 bill, they have money. $100 bill was money before 1970. Because before 1970, the currency of money were backed by gold. So it means if you had $100 bill, you had genuine money because that paper was backed by genuine gold, which was in the Reserve Bank. So the buying power of that $100 bill would never decrease because it was being backed by gold. But in 1971, the unions of the world and the president of America changed that. They no longer said that $100 bill or this paper of money is backed by gold. They removed that ability. So it means the currencies of the world were no longer backed by gold. They were now backed by the faith of the people of that nation in their government. So if you have got $100 bill that you are holding, that is not money. It is just a paper. The value of that money is not being backed by anything tangible. The value of that money is just being backed by your faith in the government. So because of that, it causes the government to be different from us individual people. How? In this dimension. You as an individual person, if you walk into a shop and you want to buy a dress, then you discover that that dress is costing 500 United States dollars. But in your pocket, you have got $100, and in your bank account, you have got $100, which means in total, you have got $200. You can't afford to buy that dress because you need $300 more. The only thing you can do if you desire to buy that dress, you have to go out there and work to earn that $300. You top it with the 200 you have to make it 500. Then you go back to the shop. You can be able to buy that dress. But with the government, it is different. If the government has got 1 million United States dollars, but they want to buy something that costs 2 million United States dollars, the government doesn't need to go and work for that 1 million for the money to be 2 million. No, they simply tell the federal bank to print 1 million. So which means you yourself, if you want to buy something and your money is shorting, the money that is shorting that you don't have, you have to go and work to earn that money. But if the government wants to buy something and their money is shorting, they don't have to go and work for that money. They simply command the federal bank to print that money. Then they have enough money to buy whatever they want. That's what makes the government different from you as an individual. Now, what then happens, or the problem with that is that now, if you yourself have got a mentality of thinking that money is that $100 bill that you are holding, the problem is that you remain poor. The reason being, money, it is not the $100 bill that you are holding. Money, it is a system that causes that $100 bill to continuously circulate and increase in your favor. That is money. So it then means, if, for example, in the world, there is 500,000 circulating, then you as an individual, you have 50,000 to your possession. It means you own 10% of the money that is circulating in the world. So you are a rich person. But the problem will be, if you think that money is the bills that you hold, if you have got that 50,000, you just hold that 50,000 and stick to that 50,000 and do nothing. But eventually, if you do so, you will become poor. The reason being, if the world has got 500,000 circulating, for example, and you have 50,000 to your possession, which is 10% of the money circulating in the world, you are rich. But if the government, any moment and any time, if they decide to print another 500,000 to make it 1 million of the money that will be circulating in the world, they will not come to you with another 50,000 because they've decided to print another 500,000. No. So if the government has printed 500,000 and that is the money circulating in the world, and you've got 50,000 to your possession, and you just hold on to that money and you don't do nothing to circulate that money, then one morning the government wakes up and commands that another 500,000 be printed. It means you no longer have 10% of the money circulating. You now have 5% because you had 50,000 or 500,000 and the government printed another 500,000 to make it 1 million. So if it goes to 1 million, you are no longer owning 10%, you are owning 5%, which means just by the government waking up one morning and say to the federal bank, print another 500,000, they automatically slash your wealth in half. Just like that. But if you are a person who understands that money is not the bill that you are holding, but rather a system that you create that causes that $100 bill that you are holding to circulate and to increase in your favor. If you have got 50,000 and the government prints another 500,000, you can maintain that 10% because if they increase money that is being printed, you can as well through your system circulate your 50,000 and it will give you another 50,000. Therefore, you remain rich. So the issue that happens now on earth, a lot of people remain poor because to them they think if they've got $100, that is money. So they don't have lucrative things that they do to circulate that money, because they think, no, for me to remain with money, I have to find somewhere I can keep that $100 bill. Maybe I should keep it in my drawer or in my wardrobe. They don't do any other thing. They just keep it in their drawer and say they are saving money. And yet they don't realize that money is not that $100 bill that you are keeping in your wardrobe. Money is what you can do with that $100 bill that you are keeping in your wardrobe for it to increase. That is money. So automatically, when you become a person that is not productive with the money that you get, but simply save your money in your wardrobe or under your mattress, the problem with that is that you can never become rich. You actually become more poor, because what happens is, when the government commands that more money should be printed, it means if there was 500,000, for example, circulating, then something was worth $2 to buy. If in the morning the government decides to print another 500,000 and inject that 500,000 into the system, that thing that was worth $2 is no longer worth $2, because there are more bills in circulation. The price of that thing has to double. So which means a thing that was worth $2, if the government prints more money and inject it, there are more bills circulating, which means that thing will now cost $4. So which means the money that you are keeping in your wardrobe, not doing anything with it, what you can buy with it today, you will not be able to buy with it tomorrow, because the more you keep that money and you don't circulate it to increase, the more it loses its buying power. It is the same thing when it comes to finding your life partner. It is not about you being stationary with your life and doing nothing productive about your own personal life, just looking to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, expecting the right partner to come your way. No. If you want to find the right partner in your life, you have to be someone who's productive. Be doing something in your life. Be pursuing goals. Be pursuing dreams. Be pursuing your own personal visions. It is in you pursuing your own personal goals in life that God will bring in someone into your life that will become a right partner for you. So when you become a person that is stationary, you don't do something with your life. You are just stationary, and you are just putting all your hopes in finding a right partner for you and getting married and settling down. That's now your goal. That's now your dream. You will never achieve the right partner. You always meet wrong people, because your life is stationary. You are doing nothing with your life. But the more you become productive with your life, the more you pursue your goals as a woman, as a man, the more you pursue your vision as a woman, as a man, the more you pursue your dreams as a woman, as a man, the more you meet a man or a woman of a higher standard in your life. This is what a lot of things people don't understand, and therefore they get the whole entire issue about marriage and finding the right partner wrong. So don't fall into the stigma of having people telling you, why are you not yet married? Why are you not yet married? And you let that get into your mind to a level whereby it drops all your dreams, all your plans about your own personal lives. It drops all your goals. Then you just do nothing with your life but busy hunting to find a man that can marry you, or busy hunting to find a woman that you can marry. No. That's not how you find a right partner. Be someone who's productive, man. Pursue your plans, pursue your goals, pursue your dreams. Be a game changer. Be a woman, be a man that even if a right partner locates you, you are somewhere with your life, you are doing something with your life. That partner, I'm telling you the truth, they will do everything in their capacity to keep you and to make sure that they don't lose you. Do you get the secret? The second thing that you must understand before I tell you the truth, the secret to finding a right partner, it is this. When the government has 1 million United States dollars, then they want to buy something for 2 million, and they don't have the other 1 million. Like I said, they simply tell the federal bank to print 1 million. But when the federal bank prints that 1 million, the government doesn't take that 1 million from the federal coffers and go and buy what they want. For example, maybe the governments want to buy a private jet for the president. Then that private jet is costing 4 million. They have 2 million. They can tell the federal bank to say, look here, print another 2 million. But the government doesn't go directly to the federal bank to take that 2 million and go and buy a jet. No. If they do so, there will be a corrupt government. But what a wise government does is that when they take that 2 million from the federal bank, they don't take direct that million to go and buy a jet. They feed it into the system of their nation, or they feed that money into the economy. And how do they feed that money into the economy? They feed that money into the economy in two ways. Through the banking sector, because the banks are, these are sectors that deal with the money on a daily basis with people. So they inject that money into the banking sector. Number two, they inject that money into direct individuals through what are called brokers or money changers, or certain companies that will be suffering a deficit. Then the government inject money into their company and get shares from their company, or stand a chance to get a greater interest from those companies. So the reason why the government has to inject that money before they can use it is so that if, the issues of corruption will be, that's how politicians in Africa become extremely rich, and yet they are doing nothing tangible. They don't have a business. When you become a president in Africa, or a politician in Africa who is close to the president, it is very, very easy to become rich. Because what happens is that when you have certain things that you want to purchase, or certain business that you want to do, but you don't have the money, you can simply get into an agreement with the president to command the federal bank to print more money. And when that money is printed, the money is injected into the economy. When the money is injected into the economy, it will eventually come back again to the government. Then the government use that money for corruption. So if they use that money for corruption, it will be very, very difficult for you to trace corrupt people that are using that money, because the moment they inject that money into the economy, it passes through different companies, it passes through different people. So by the time it gets back to them, it will have passed through countless companies and countless people. So for you to now sit down to now look at the system to find who's corrupt and who's taking the money, it will be very, very difficult. But if they just take that money and buy something, there will be a deficit of money circulating into the economy. So it will be clear that someone is taking money, so they can easily be detected by, financial auditors. So now, the issue is that when they inject that money into the banking sector, what then happens is that people who understand money will use banks to become rich, but people that don't understand money, banks will use them to become rich. Let me explain to you. Say, for example, the government has commanded the federal bank to print 20 million. Then they inject that money into the banking sector. People that understand money will go to banks and get loans. And when they get those loans, they use those loans to buy properties. And those properties that they buy, as people rent those properties from them, the money that they are getting from people that are renting those properties that they have bought with the money that they've taken as a loan from the bank, they use part of those money to pay back the loan to the bank. And after they are done with paying back the loan to the bank, they remain with that property, and they still make even more money from that property, and even leave that property as an inheritance to their children. But people that don't understand the money, they go to the bank, and when they go to the bank, they take a loan to go on a vacation. So you go to the bank, you go and take a loan of 10,000 United States dollars so that you can go on a vacation to Mauritius or Dubai. And yet that vacation is simply taking money from you and not giving you money. And therefore, when you come back, you have spent all the money. You still have to pay back that money to the bank, but you have nothing lucrative that you used that money for to bring back money from you. People that don't understand money, they go to the bank and take a loan to buy a car. And that car doesn't bring money to them. It actually even takes money from them, because you have to buy fuel, you have to be fixing that car. So from the loan that you take from the bank, that you don't have anything else that you are doing aside that can help you pay back that loan, it means the bank will begin to make money from you through the interest that you'll be paying them by trying to pay back that loan. But a person that took money and bought a property and renting out that property, people are staying in that property, and those people are paying rentals to him. So he's using those rentals to pay back the loan. And when he's done with the loan, he remains with the property, and the property continues to give him money. It is the same thing when it comes to the issue of relationship. When you look at a relationship, a partner can either make you productive or destroy you. If you don't have a way of finding the right partner, if you don't know how to locate, how to handle, how to treat, how to invest your love, how to invest your character, your behavior, how to invest your attitude in your partner, if you don't know these things, your partner may destroy you and make your life useless here on earth. But if you understand how to invest love in a partner, how to invest a good character in a partner, how to handle and how to treat a partner will see it a loss to lose you. So they will not in any way do anything stupid to lose you. They will remain in the right path, and therefore you will become a tag team that will remain together, eventually get married, have a family, and enjoy life. Then we can say, well, this woman has found the right partner and this man has found the right partner. This is what a lot of people don't understand here on earth. The greatest demon that causes a lot of people here on earth to fail to be located by right partners. I'll explain that demon using a story that you find in Mark chapter 5 and in Luke chapter 8. And that story, it is the story of Legion, where it says when Jesus Christ crossed over into the country of the Gadarenes, he met a man there that was possessed by a legion of spirit that was staying by the tomb. What people don't understand about that story is that that story is not mainly about you hearing of that story. That story is mainly about you realizing that a man can be possessed by many demons. Now, as a Christian, you can no longer be possessed by demons, but demons can afflict you. So which means there are certain things you can do in your life that can cause countless numbers of demons to begin to afflict you. So there are demons that specialize in causing people not to locate the right partner in their lives, because they know that if you fail to locate a right partner, even if you get married, you get to a marriage that will result in divorce. They know if you don't locate the right partner, even if you get into a relationship, you get in a relationship that would not work, but that will end with cries and heartbreaks. So the demons that specialize in causing human beings not to locate right partners for them, these demons are mainly invited into our lives through masturbation and pornography. The greatest doorway here on earth over the lives of human beings that causes human beings to fail to locate right partners, demons that specialize in doing that, they use the path of masturbation and pornography. So if you are a young man and a young woman who has got a problem of masturbation and pornography, the more you progress with that problem and you don't fight to overcome it, the more the years accumulate of you tolerating that problem, the more the demons increase in number that specialize in you not finding the right partner. So you find yourself always dating useless guys. You always find yourself always dating useless people. Listen, a woman that you see dating a useless guy, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want to date a useless guy. But sometimes it's because they've tried so hard to find a useful guy. They can't. So they just end up dating a useless guy. A man that you find dating a useless woman doesn't mean they want to date a useless woman. It's because they've tried so hard to locate a useful lady, but they can't. So they end up dating useless girls. So I'm saying the problem of masturbation and pornography, it is a problem that invites into your life demons that specializes in causing you to find the wrong person to date or the wrong person to marry. So this is a problem in your life that if you don't fight to overcome, even the secret that I'll tell you today may not work for you, because even if you know that secret, that problem will continuously bring in demons that will fight you so hard not to walk into the revelation of that demon. If you go to the United States of America, my brother, in the United States of America, there are what are called ghost houses. A ghost house, it is a mansion that may be worth $2 million, United States dollars. But that mansion will be sold for 2,000 United States dollars. You say, Prophet, what do you mean? How can you say a mansion worth 2 million United States dollars in the United States will get to a point of being sold for 2,000 United States dollars? That's not possible. They are called ghost mansions. These are houses that have got a reputation, or these are houses that have got a problem of mysterious things happening in them. Maybe those houses, they were owned by criminals that killed countless people in those houses, and those criminals eventually died. And when those criminals died, they begin to, have mysterious things happening in those houses. Maybe you are sleeping in that house, you hear cries. Maybe you are sleeping in that house, you hear plates moving in the kitchen. Maybe you are sitting in that house, you hear people talking or people moving. So they will now be called ghost mansions. So there will be no human being on earth that has got the right senses that will buy that mansion, even if they are told that we can give you this mansion for 2,000 United States dollars, a mansion that is worth 2 million United States dollars. Those houses will be scary mansions that no ordinary human being that is not mad can stay in them with their families. So a person would either opt to say, no, it's okay, sell to someone else, I'm okay, I cannot live in that house, so why should I buy that house? So they end up called ghost mansions, that a house that is worth 2 million United States dollars will be sold for 2,000 United States dollars, and no one will be willing to buy that mansion. It's the same thing with the problem of pornography and masturbation. Those demons, the more they gather in your life, they will get you to a point whereby no one will appreciate you, or no one will see it fit to make a decision to marry you, even if you are offered to them for free. You get to a point that as a girl, those demons will mess up your life, your character, your behavior, until you've got a character and a behavior that any normal guy in his right senses, even if they are saying, no, marry this girl for free, they'll say, no, it's okay. You can find another person. If you are a guy, you become useless, you ruin your health, everything about you. You are a guy that is 20 years old, but you are looking like you are 40 years old. That even if you're a woman that is desperate for marriage, if they are told that, no, this guy is willing to marry you, you have been crying for marriage, you are now 40 years, you are not yet married, and this guy is saying he's willing to marry you, the woman will say, it's better I remain not married. Try to find another woman to get married to the guy. So I'm trying to say, a lot of people have ignored the reality of the effects of masturbation and pornography, and they are crying today, wondering, why is it that we can't locate right guys to marry us? Why is it that we can locate right women to want to get married to us? They go to different witch doctors, to prophets and apostolic sects, trying to get prayers to get married, but it doesn't work because they've got a problem of masturbation and pornography. They go and see a prophet prays for them, but doesn't locate this spiritually. So after they've received the prayers, they get home the following night, they are busy watching pornography, and these demons are dining with them. They go to the mountain to fast 40 days to pray for marriage. They fast every day. They pray 4 hours. But when night time comes, they are busy watching pornography. The demons are dining with them. So they always find themselves settling with the same problem of not getting married, or finding a good person to marry them, or finding a good woman to marry. So I'm trying to say today, I'll spiritually pray for many of you that have got that problem, so that you become liberated. The last thing I want to tell you, so that I tell you the secret to find a right partner, and we call it a day, is this. If you want to find a right partner, you have to be realistic. If you are not realistic, it will be difficult for you to find a right partner. If you have got, as a girl, a crush on Chris Brown, it doesn't matter how much you love Chris Brown, he's not going to marry you. So if you begin to look for Chris Brown in innocent guys that are trying to, pursue their lives and get a life, that wish you good and wish to marry you, but the problem is you are looking for Chris Brown in them, You always have good people leaving you. If you are a guy, it doesn't matter you have a crush on Beyonce. Beyonce is married to Jay-Z. No matter how much you love Beyonce, you're not going to get married to Beyonce. So stop harassing girls and trying to find the Beyonce in girls. You find a good girl that is trying to pursue her dream, maybe as an accountant or maybe as an entrepreneur, and has got good goals, which is good for you, and she's actually a good woman. But because you are looking for Beyonce in her, she eventually leaves you, and you have lost a good lady. So the issue of not being realistic with yourself will cause you to lose good people in life. Have realistic goals. When you are looking for a wife to marry, your expectations, they must be realistic. When you are looking for a guy to marry you, your expectations in a guy, they must be realistic. The issue of not being realistic, it is what has destroyed a lot of people and hindering them from locating right partners in their lives. The issue of being unrealistic with life is what has called it is the issue of being unrealistic with life is what has caused 78% of people in the United States of America and in Britain to be broke and to be poor, and yet they appear to be rich. Let me tell you how. In the United States of America and in Britain, do you know that you can drive an SUV of your choice if you have the ability to pay $575 every month? So it means if you are able to pay 575 United States dollars every month, you can drive an SUV of your choice in America or in Britain, whether it is a Range Rover, whether it is a Mercedes Benz, whether it is a Bentley, an SUV of your choice. If you are willing to part ways with $575 every month, those companies, they can give you that vehicle. So you will find people that are not realistic with their lives. They get a job, and on that job they are earning 2,500 United States dollars. Then they go and take a Range Rover Sport, and they begin to pay $575 every month. And remember, they will have to pay rent, they have to buy food, they have to buy, their bills, electricity and water, and certain expenses that they will need. So if they now, out of that 2,500 United States dollars, remove 575 every month to pay that company of an SUV Range Rover, of the car that they are now driving, and they remove rent and every other thing, you'll find that every end of month they will be left with only 3% or 5% of their total pay in savings. Now if you remain with just 3%, tell me, how many months do you need to save that money to become tangible, so that you can, have a tangible business to do, or maybe you're in Zimbabwe and abroad, so that you can buy a stand back home or begin to build back home? That dream will be difficult to achieve because you are now left with just 3% to save every month. But if you are a realistic person who understands to say, look, I'm not yet rich. I need to work hard, have multiple streams of income that I'll be having, so that I can start to drive a car for my choice. But right now, I only have one job. I don't have another business, another stream of income. It doesn't make sense for me to pay $575 every month for me to be driving a Range Rover Sport. That same person can make a decision of just paying $125 or $100 every month. Then they get a car that is small, but a car that is a fuel saver, a car that can get them to work and come back to work, a car that they can go with it to the mall, buy groceries, put the groceries in the boot, and go back home. Simple, just like that. So it means if they are now only paying $100 or $125 every month for that small car that they are using, which means they can be able to save 500 United States dollars every month. So if they are able to save 500 United States dollars every month, by the time we reach to 2 years, 3 years, they have tangible money in their saving. They can buy a stand back home here in Zimbabwe, or whether they are from Nigeria, they can buy a stand back home in Nigeria. They can start a business back home. They can build a house back home, or even start a business even right there in America or in Britain. But people are pompous. They don't want to be realistic. They strain themselves and remain with nothing just for them to have pictures on Facebook of relatives seeing them parking a Range Rover by their side. Then relatives begin to celebrate. Yeah, they are rich. Our sister is driving a Range Rover. Our uncle is driving a Range Rover in Britain. They are rich. They are rich. But deep within, they know we are not rich. We are actually struggling. Sometimes I don't even have money to pay bills because my savings are being taken by this $575 that I have to pay every month for this car that I'm driving. So this issue of not being realistic with yourself and with your life will cost you a lot in your life. Be a person that is realistic. Have realistic expectations from the person you want to marry. Have realistic expectations from the person whom you want to marry you. But if you are not realistic, you always chase good people in your life and always surround yourself with bad people that will do you harm. Because the moment your expectations become greater than the intentions of your partner, they will leave you. As a lady, if your expectations become greater than the intentions of the guy you are dating, he will not marry you, he will leave you. If you are a guy and your expectations become greater than the intentions of the lady that you are dating, that lady will not be able to marry you. They will leave you and find another guy. So we have lost a lot of good people in relationship, and yet we are struggling today to find other good partners because we didn't realize that we had that problem of not being realistic. You dumped a good guy because he could not buy you an iPhone, but you had a good Samsung. You could do whatever you want to do with that Samsung. You could take good pictures. You could go on Facebook. But simply because the guy couldn't afford to buy that Samsung, that iPhone for you, you left the guy. You pursued a guy that you thought he has the capacity to buy you that phone. That guy abused you and left you and used you and left you heartbroken. And now you now see that guy that you left. He's now in a relationship. You were a guy. You had a good lady that genuinely loved you. But things were not yet good for her. So she couldn't afford to change different clothes and buy different shoes. And maybe you had hustled one or two things and you had a small car. And that lady didn't have a car. Every time she'd come to see you, should use public transport. So because you expect a lady with a car, you ended up not seeing that she is a good lady. You dumped that good lady. You went for a girl that you saw driving a car as well, and you didn't know that that girl was not a good girl. You said, since this girl drives a good car, it's better I date this one. You left a good lady because he didn't have a car, and you began to date that girl that had a car. That the lady cheated you with your best friend. You are crying today. So we need to be realistic. The more you become realistic in life, you will not lose good people. That is how you find a good person that will be able to settle down with you. Do you get the secret? Thank you. Now, let me not waste time. Let me tell you the secret to finding a right partner. Before I tell you this secret, always remember Romans 6 verse 23. The wages of sin is death, which means whatever we do has a replication. So if we do good things will come our way. If we do bad things will come our way. It's the same thing with this issue of finding the right partner. Behave well, you'll find a good person. Behave badly, you'll find a bad person. It is as simple as that. But well, because of my time, let me not speak much. Let me just review to you the secret to finding the right partner for you. My brother, the secret to finding the right partner for you is not being a gold digger. A gold digger is not only a woman. A man can be a gold digger. A woman can be a gold digger. But the gold digging that I am talking about is different from the gold digging that you have heard about. Let me tell you the gold digging that I'm talking about. For example, a woman becomes a widow, but she was married to a successful guy. Then that guy either dies or they separate. So it was, but that guy that was successful, that she was married to, dies. So she remains with all the inheritance, good big houses, big SUV cars, fat accounts, good clothes, and stuff like that. So because of that, as a widow, she's enjoying her life because she's got wealth. So she's going on vacations, she's driving beautiful cars, staying in a big mansion, and making a lot of money to herself. Then a guy happens to see or to meet this lady, and they eventually become romantic. And then ultimately the guy decides to settle down with that lady. And as the guy settles down with that lady, the guy goes ahead and settles down with that lady. But deep within, that guy doesn't love the lady. He simply admired the lifestyle of the lady and knew that if I get married to this lady, I'll be able to share such a lifestyle with her. Because even if I don't have a car, she has different cars. So it means if I get married to her as the husband, I'll be the one driving those SUVs. I don't have a house, but if I get married to her, I'll be staying in that mansion. I don't have enough money to take myself on vacations, but if I get married to that lady, obviously if she goes to the United States for vacation, she will not leave me behind. So all these things, the guy is contemplating them. So even though he doesn't love the lady, but those things become strong in his mind, and he decides to go ahead and pursue that lady. And that lady is deceived and believe that widow thinks, this guy loves me genuinely. So the lady opens up her life to this guy, they get married, and yet this guy doesn't love this lady, and eventually dumps that lady, or eventually begins to cheat that lady using those vehicles. If you are to be asked as a human being a question about this matter, to say, give us a judgment or tell us, how do you see this guy? If I am to ask you that question, are you going to tell me that guy is a good guy? Of course not. What are you going to say? You are going to say that guy is selfish and heartless. And it will be true. You'll be right. You'll be selfish and heartless. The same situation can happen to a man. A guy can have his things going. He's working. He managed to, to build his house. He's working. He managed to buy his car. He's got certain things that he's doing that are bringing income in his life. He's able to go to good restaurants to buy food. He's able to treat himself, buy clothes for himself, and good perfumes for himself. So, he's just, doing his thing and living his life. Then a lady happens to see such a guy and said, wow. So which means if I date this guy, obviously if he goes to these restaurants, I'll be going as well. Obviously if he goes for vacations, I'll be going as well. Obviously if he goes to buy clothes, he'll buy some for me as well. Obviously if he buys a good perfume, he'll buy some for me as well. The lady goes to the house of the guy and say, this guy actually has, his things going. He's got a very nice apartment with all the property. The lady begins to say, if I get married to this guy, which means I'll have a house that is well furnished and stuff like that. So the lady decides to date this guy and even get married to this guy. But deep within, she doesn't love this guy. She simply wanted to share the life of this guy with this guy that she saw and admired. And eventually this guy gets married to this lady, and this lady ends up acting up, cheating. Guys that are rich play with other rich guys. It may happen that when you are married to this lady, because she married you because of success, maybe your best friend that you play with was the one who introduced you to deals. So you began to make a lot of money, but your friend is richer than you because he's the one who introduced you to these things. So if you manage to buy a car out of the deals he introduced you to himself, you'd have bought 4 cars. So since you've married this lady, she's now your wife, you trust this lady, so your friend begins to visit you, and I don't have a problem with that because she's no longer your girlfriend, she's your wife. Then the lady begins to see that your friend is driving a better car. Maybe you go for a braai at your friend's house. The lady sees that your friend actually has a better house than you. And the lady begins to act up to your friend. The next minute, your wife begins to cheat with your best friend. You discover it, and it breaks your heart. It kills, it destroys you in a painful way. When you look at such kind of a woman, you yourself, if I am to ask you, can you say that girl is a good girl? Of course not. You say she's a selfish and heartless woman, and you'll be right. That is the danger of having a gold-digging mentality in life. You become dangerous waters. You become evil. You will leave people broken and destroyed. You destroy the future of people. As a woman, as a guy, have a life of your own, so that you not be tempted to be attracted to a man that you don't love simply because of what he has, and date that, and even go to the stage of marrying that guy that you don't even love, simply because you don't want to work and have your own vision. You want to take shortcuts in life. So this mentality of people having a gold-digging mentality has infiltrated even the Christian community. The reason why even the Christian community has been filtrated with this gold-digging mentality is being caused even by pastors and prophets. Why? Because of the prosperity gospel. The prosperity gospel encourages people to have a gold-digging mentality. So we have less and less people like Job, that when he lost everything, Job chapter 1 from verse 3 to 7, Job chapter 2 from verse 3 to 15, when he lost everything and he had nothing, Job never neglected God, because he didn't have a gold-digging mentality in his relationship with God. He loved God genuinely, not because of what God gave him, but because of whom God was. There are certain women that are more precious than 1 billion because of their character. There are certain men that are more precious than 1 billion because of their character. But if your mind is so much infiltrated with the gold-digging mentality, you will not see good character in people, because you have got a biased mind. All you'll be thinking is who is rich, who has money, who is this, and you end up becoming biased. That gold-digging mentality is the same mentality as Christians, if we are not careful, that we are extending to God. Imagine Jesus Christ himself came down from heaven, a very wealthy kingdom, to here on earth, to die for you and me, and to save you and me from going to hell. And when Jesus came, he took the power of Hades and ascended. And the message of the gospel comes and say, look here, Jesus Christ of Nazareth has died for your sins. Accept him and you will not go to hell. So a lot of Christians end up accepting, not loving Jesus. They've simply accepted Jesus, but they don't love Jesus. They've accepted Jesus because Jesus Christ has created a path for them not to go to hell, and they fear going to hell, and they hear that the kingdom of heaven is a wealthy kingdom, so they are they are overwhelmed about the beauty of what they will go and see to heaven. And yet they don't realize that it's not enough just for you to accept Jesus simply because you don't want to go to hell, and simply because you want to go and see the beauty of heaven. What will actually take you to heaven, and what will actually cause you not to go to hell, it is not just accepting Jesus, is loving Jesus himself personally and genuinely. But a lot of Christians, they don't love God, they don't love Jesus. They have accepted Jesus because they don't want to go to hell. That's all. That's why you see their relationship with God is zero. They are just Christians. They've simply accepted him as the Lord and personal Savior because they heard on a crusade that if you accept him, you don't want to go to hell. And they hear about hell and they see the danger of going to hell. And they say, well, if accepting this person who cause us not go to hell, then what do we stand to lose? They just accept him. So they end up accepting Jesus, but living a life that is totally different from the life that Jesus Christ lived, because they don't love Jesus. They've just accepted him because they don't want to go to hell. So we need people like Job that don't just accept God, but that love God. We need people that don't have a gold-digging mentality. A mentality of wanting to use people to achieve things that you can work for yourself. A mentality of wanting to take advantage of people to achieve things that you can achieve by working hard. Such people don't find the right partners. They always end up a mess because God doesn't like people like that, and human beings don't like people like that. So I'm telling you today, my brother, drop a gold-digging mentality when it comes to a relationship with God. Job didn't have a gold-digging mentality. He loved God genuinely. That's why you see when he became broke, he never neglected God. He stood with God because it was not for what he was receiving from God, but it was because for what he felt for God, his love for God. And the Bible makes it very clear in that book of Job from chapter 6, chapter 7, that God ended up restoring the wealth that Job had 3 times. Women that don't have a gold-digging mentality, God will bless them with a man that they work hard together and become billionaires. Look at Strive Masiwa and his wife. They didn't get married billionaires, but they are now billionaires together. Because the wife of Strive Masiwa didn't have a gold-digging mentality. She entered that marriage because she loved the guy. So even if Strive Masiwa didn't become a business mogul, they will still be together. So we are not saying you should not date rich guys or you should not date rich women. No. But what I'm trying to tell you is that date someone because you love them, not because of what they have or what they can offer to you. Be genuine. Don't be a gold digger. As a guy, don't pursue a lady because a lady comes from a rich family. So even if you don't love her, you try to date her because you think since you are broke, if you date that lady, the father of the lady is rich, so the father of the lady on your wedding, he will offer you a house and a car. There are certain guys like that who have actually gotten married to women that they don't love because those women come from rich families, and they were disappointed at the end of the day because the father didn't gift them a house at the wedding. So they are now mistreating that lady because they wanted a house from the father. The father didn't give them a house. Date a woman that you love. Date a man that you love. Get married to a man that you love. Get married to a woman that you love. You see, so the secret of finding the right partner, drop a gold-digging mentality. Work hard for yourself and find someone that you genuinely love. You see, you go a long way with that person through thick and thin because you loved the person. You see, so that is the secret. Well, let me not make this podcast long. Let me end it here. I'll see if I will come back again with a part 2 or I'll go to other topics. If you still wish me to speak more on those things, ask God to tell me to come back with part 2. I will come back with part 2, but I don't want this podcast to be long because I need so well, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope what I have said has helped you a bit. I'll see you again on our next podcast. So let me just pray for you today. Thank you, Father. Thank you for your grace and mercy and for your love. We pray that you may give them the grace to find right partners, people that they will love, people that will enter a relationship that will result in marriage for them. And if they are already married, Father, work things out for them and help them rectify and solve every problem in their marriage. Release your divine power to rest upon them so strong so that the perfect may come and the imperfect may go. And there are ladies that are not yet married. Give them the grace, Father, to find right partners. And there are men that are not yet married. Give them the grace, Father, to find right women for them. I pray for more grace upon them to be able to find the right partner in their lives, so that it will not only help them to be peaceful in life, but I know, Father, it will also help their relationship with you. It will remain strong and good because they would have settled with someone that doesn't stress them and hinder them from serving you. And I pray above all things, Father, that the fear of the Lord may increase upon them. Deliver many of them from the demon of masturbation. Deliver many of them from the demon of pornography that has invited a lot of demons in their life to haunt them and to reject them from locating right partners, so that they will always enter relationships that end up in a mess. By grace and mercy, Their sins and iniquities remember no more, Father. Blot away their transgressions, and by the precious blood of the Lamb Jesus Christ, cleanse them thoroughly in their flesh, in their blood, in their bones, in their marrow, in their joints, in their inner man, in their soul, in their spirit, in their heart, in their mind. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Son of the living God, we pray. Amen. Well, thank you, Uncle, for tuning in. I'll see you next time for another podcast. Until then, keep living in an atmosphere of the prophetic and have a Christ-centered night. Thank you.